And right now on News 12, a tragic discovery in a quiet Westchester community. A family of 4 found dead inside their Pleasantville home in an apparent murder-suicide. You're watching News 12. I'm Milburn. Now, many questions remain this afternoon, and we have team coverage on this developing story. We start with News 12's Michelle Brown. She's in Pleasantville with a breakdown of exactly everything that we know so far. Michelle, what can you tell us? Again, more questions than answers. Thank you, Michelle. Now, this tragedy happening in a tight-knit community here in Westchester. News 12's Beth Cefalu spoke to neighbors in Pleasantville. And Beth, as we understand it, this was a family that was known and loved by this community. We know 2 children were killed in this apparent murder-suicide. News 12's Nikita Ramos continues our team coverage with a look at how the school district is handling this tragedy. Nikita, as we understand it, school is open, but there is help available. And thank you, Nikita. Stay with News 12 for continuing coverage of this tragedy in Pleasantville. We'll have the latest on air, online, and on our News 12 mobile app. Now, a man is recovering today after falling into a well. Orangetown police say it happened yesterday at a home on West Washington Avenue in Pearl River. They say the man was inspecting the driveway for a job when he fell into an unused water well. We're told he was stuck in that well, forget this, for hours before someone called police.
There was a large sinkhole.
The victim is in his 20s. He was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. And since the season for receiving packages and running the risk of having those packages stolen off of your front porch, a viewer sending us this doorbell video, what appears to be someone taking packages right from the doorstep. It happened yesterday off Kimball Avenue in Yonkers. The homeowner tells us police have been notified. No word yet on if this alleged suspect has been caught. And 12 on the environment, activists in Rockland are joining millions across the globe striking today for climate justice. News 12 Sarah Tolan is at one of those demonstrations in Nyack with more. And Sarah, I understand that this is an issue that activists of all ages are taking very seriously.
You've got that right.
And Vote 2020, the number of people vying for Congresswoman Anita Lowy's seat keeps on growing. Westchester County legislator Catherine Borgia throwing her hat in the race for the 17th Congressional District. Borgia now becomes the 8th Democrat to enter the race. A total of 9 candidates so far have announced they are running for that seat. Now to a sure sign of the season, this one in our nation's capital.
3, 2, 1.
President Trump and the First Lady took part in the annual lighting of the National Christmas tree last night. The tradition dates back to 1923 when President Calvin Coolidge lit a tree on Christmas Eve. And one community in Westchester will be all lit up in the holiday spirit. The village of Ossining holding its annual tree lighting ceremony tonight. It's taking place at Market Square. Now, families can enjoy some live performances, some free hot chocolate and cookies, and even a visit from Santa and Mrs. Claus. Now, all the fun begins tonight at 5:30. And another tree lighting also taking place just south in Yonkers. Unamore Park is holding its annual event along with holiday caroling. That event also gets underway at 5:30 on North Broadway. Right now, 'tis the season for these fantastic events. 'Tis the season for hot chocolate and free cookies.
Absolutely.
And hopefully some good weather.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be dry by that point, too.
That's
a couple
good.
of spotty showers coming through right now through about, say, 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. But
And welcome back. You're watching News 12 and News12.com. I'm Milburn. Now to the latest stories we're following. At least 3 people are dead in a shooting at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, Florida. Police say one of the people dead is the gunman. Officials say at least 11 people are hospitalized. The shooting is the second at a U.S. naval base this week. A sailor whose submarine was docked at Pearl Harbor on Wednesday killed 2 civilian employees before taking his own life. And the Pentagon is considering sending several thousand additional troops to the Middle East. That includes ground, air, and sea-based forces amid reports of escalating violence in Iran. Now, U.S. military officials say the most realistic option is to send between 5,000 and 7,000 additional troops to the region. However, no final decision has been made. And dozens of polar bears invading a Russian village in search of food. Take a look at this. Volunteers and residents are patrolling the area, and all public events have been canceled. Now, according to the World Wildlife Fund, higher than usual temperatures are affecting the bears' hunting habits. Almost all of these polar bears, both old and young, were considered thin. And in your business news, fans of Beyond Meat can soon buy those burgers in bulk. The company will begin selling its plant-based burgers at Costco. An 8-pack will set you back about $14.99. The burgers will only be available in select stores, and no word yet whether or not stores in the Hudson Valley will carry them. Now, partnering with Costco is the latest major expansion for Beyond Meat. In November, Dunkin' Donuts began selling the Beyond Meat breakfast sandwich. And Target opening its doors in Times Square. The retail giant signed a lease for a spot on 42nd Street between 7th and 8th Avenues. The 33,000 square foot store, which is projected to open in 2022, will be Target's 10th small format shop in the Manhattan area. Now let's send it over to our partners at Cheddar for more on your biz and tech news. So some parents believe that their children should understand how codes make computers run. So in this week's The Download, News 12's Andrew Anger shows us a couple of coding toys that may be perfect for your kids. So coding is important if only I knew how to predict the weather.
Well, thankfully, I at least tried to know how to do that. And
You do.
well, yeah, so far so good today. We called for the rain or snow showers. We got a couple